Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. The Acharya has stressed the need for prayer. There are three stages. You are either in a position where you think of yourself as the body. Then you will need a statue. Talk about it. Think about that God. The more you do, the more you connect. Do the worship. Go to the temple. If you do this on a daily basis, you will connect with that God. It is a very difficult, shoreless ocean, and no matter how much effort we do, we cannot guarantee we'll cross that ocean of life. So the prayer is very important. Self-realization is God realization, has minimum dependence on society, enjoys life like a child or a madman. Now please understand, many people misunderstand this Bhaja Govindam. They think that Bhaja Govindam is saying, or Adi Shankara is saying, don't enjoy, don't create money, don't enjoy life, don't enjoy. No. Enjoy knowing that this will not last, and knowing that this will not, when you are up against a terrible calamity, it may not come to your rescue. But what will come to your rescue is that connection with that unchangeable consciousness which controls your mind, and through your mind controls your sense organs, and through your sense organs controls your entire experience of the world and reality. Only a prepared and a purified mind can seek the purpose of life. The world basically is a projection of the mind. When the mind ends or is dissolved, the world also dissolves. And the example is, into us in a common world, is deep sleep. Wherever there is a vision of difference, there is fear, anger, greed, pride, envy, and jealousy. But we don't seek it. Hence, seek Govinda, that reminder constantly at the beginning of a verse, at the end of the verse. You will not know how to use that power. So that is why here it's saying that. I'm going to do a recap of all the shlokas. I'll just touch upon the basic meaning and the progression of what the Acharya wanted to convey. And then we'll do chanting. Whoever is comfortable, chant. If you can't, that's fine too. I don't want anybody to be panic-stricken. And then any question answers, I'll try my best to answer. And so we'll start with the purpose. The purpose of this text is in the title. We call it Bhaja Govindam, but the other name is Moha Mudgara. Mudgara is a hammer, Moha is a delusion. And what is delusion? Thinking something has the power when it doesn't, and not understanding something has the power. For instance, we think the world has the power, it doesn't. Worldly relationship, worldly wealth, worldly knowledge has no power, but we think it does. And here we are, we have so much power, we are infinite beings with infinite powers and infinite possibility, and yet we don't recognize that. So taking something to be real when it's not, and what is real, we don't understand that. Now, how do we do that Moha Mudgara? How do we smash this delusion? The title of the book gives us the solution from the very beginning. Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja is seek. Govindam is that power that controls the intellect, which controls the mind, which then controls the sense organs, through which you experience and express the world, the reality. So because Go is Indriyas, Vindam is internal control. Now, why Govinda? Because like I said, unless you control that, the consciousness is the Govinda, which controls your intellect, which controls the mind, which controls the sense organs, and through that you control your experience of reality. Now, Govinda, normally we think is God, but we also went into great lengths to understand what is God. It is not a person or a name. It's the concept Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is that reality that never changes. Chit is the awareness of the reality. And when you're aware of it, you are in Ananda, continuous bliss. There is a difference between Brahmananda and Vishayananda. The Ananda, the joy that comes from Vishayas, objects of the world, versus the joy that comes from within. It is not dependent on conditional or anything outside. And we realize that we are made up of two elements. One is a spiritual energy, material energy. Material energy is everything that is made out of five bhutas, mahabhutas, the earth, water, fire, air, space, and the three gunas. This permutation combination of the three gunas and five elements creates the entire world of matter, including your body, your mind, and everything in the world, which is transient. And this is the basic message of this. If you are relying on something which is impermanent and transient, you are bound to be happy. Instead, go within Brahmananda. That principle, that power that never changes, will never leave you, because it is you. So the first words of the text are Bhaja Govindam, meaning worship or seek that power. The final words of this text are Drakshasi Nija Hridayastam Devam. to realize the God. You're looking for power outside. After the 31 verses, the Acharya will bring you to the realization that the power you're seeking outside is actually in your heart. So then we talked about how to seek that power. Bhaja is in 9 forms are given to us. 9 ways to connect with that power. One is Shravana, which is listening or learning and hearing about this power through scriptures and other forms, satsang and stuff like that. And the example that was given in the Puranas of a person who perfected this form of connection is King Parikshit. Then Kirtanam, singing, chanting, and talking incessantly, not here and there. All you can talk about is that power. And the example that was given was Sukadev, sage Sukha. Then Smaranam, constantly thinking about that power. Whatever you're doing, you are in connection with that power. And the example of this way of connecting with that power is Prahalad. Then Pada Sevanam, serving whatever you have. And when you do Pada Sevanam, meaning serving the feet of that power, of that Lord, meaning your ego is annihilated, gone. You bow your head down. And the example that is given is Shri Mahalakshmi, because all the wealth and abundance of the world is personified and symbolized by Lakshmi, and she herself is serving this power. So we should take everything we have, this body, mind, and all our resources in service of that power. Then comes Archanam. Archanam is official, formal worship. We have Sodasa Upachara, 16 ways of inviting, invoking, welcoming, grounding that energy, and offering our best possessions, our best food, best clothes, best flowers, best everything. And the example is given is King Prithu. He was the most powerful and richest king of his time, and how he dedicated all his possessions to the worship of the Lord. Then comes Vandanam, glorifying. Glorifying is just, falling at the feet of this thing and literally going into ecstasy when you think about this person. And the example given was Akrura, Lord Krishna's own uncle. When he came to take Krishna with a plan to kill, when he saw the footprints of Lord Krishna, he just rolled on the ground, writhing in joy and ecstasy. So that was Vandanam. Then comes Dasyam, serving. Nothing, it's not like, what is in it for me? Lord, how can I be of service today? That is Dasyam. That is, the example given is Hanumanji. Then Sakhyam, because of all the relationship, friendship is the most precious, because you can be yourself, no expectation, or so it is expected. And the best, talking to that power as if it's your friend, which it is, not as if. And the example given is Arjuna. Then comes Atma Nivedanam. Everything that you have, you surrender completely. No iota is left behind. And the example given is King Bali, the emperor or king of the Asuras, when in the Vamana Avatara, Lord comes, and in 2 feet he took what is it called? The Patala and the Bhuloka, and then for the heaven he offered his head. Now, this is all about spiritual knowledge. The power that will control the material world is the spiritual knowledge. And we understood that just because you are understanding and learning about spiritual power, that does not mean it will save you from death. No, nothing can save you from death. If you are born, the dharma is you will die. Anything that is born has to die. What it will give you, though, is save you from the fear of death and fear of negative emotions, negative feelings. And how? We have that formula, FIR. When you start studying these scriptures and practicing and Vandanam and Archanam and Dasyam and all these things, you will realize the frequency of negativity will go down. You will still have it. It takes many lifetimes to purify ourselves. The intensity will go down. It won't be so bad. On a scale of 0 to 10, it will be only maybe 1 or 2 or 3. And the recovery period, even when you do it, you will recover very quickly. That is the beauty of the spiritual knowledge. Then we talked about when the seeker starts on any journey, but the most powerful and the most significant journey is a spiritual journey. It will encounter 3 obstacles. When you start on a spiritual journey, especially 3. Hanumanji, when he was flew over the ocean, he encountered 3 asuras. These are the demons inside us. There is no demon out there. One is Mainika. Mainaka is ill-informed, well-intentioned friends and relatives. They don't know anything, but they will stop you. Oh, this is your duty. Oh, you cannot abandon your family. Oh, you cannot do this. Oh, you can't. Society needs it. That. They're well-intentioned, ill-informed. Then comes Surasa. These are your obligations, whether it is relationships or responsibilities. You still have to fulfill them. To what extent, though? Is it 24/7? And finally, simika, which is our deep-rooted vasanas coming from many, many lifetimes that our conscious mind is not aware. It will come in the form of shadow qualities, anger, fear, doubt, most importantly, doubt. Then we discussed God has created, because we understood that the entire world is a projection of the collective, that Govinda Tattva. Like the spider creates its own web and takes it back, the world is a creation of that collective mind that we call God. But that mind also, that God quality, has also created an exit strategy, how to take it all back. It's keep on going out, how to take it back, which is called, he has created a perfectly imperfect world so that you will become vitrishna. Trishna is contentment. Vitrishna is disgust. At some point, like in a roller coaster, we have to get off the roller coaster. And it'll be easy for us to detach from the world of Maya, delusion, that all the power, all the joy is in Vishananda, and start turning inward towards the Brahmananda and towards the Satchitananda. And the first 6 verses, the Acharya said the limitations of worldly joy, Vishayananda. There are 6 limitations he talked about. In the deathbed, in the hospital bed, when you feel rejected and lonely, none of these things will help you. Only that power can help you. First verse is limitation of worldly knowledge. Verse 1. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. And when you are in the worst of situation, none of these money, power, looks will help you. Second one is limitation of worldly wealth, which is mudha jahihi dhanardhana Krishna. So the wealth will serve, will give you comfort, but it will not save you from death, and it will not save you from suffering. Then comes the limitation of worldly pleasures. Nari stanabhara nabhi desham. This, world of bodily pleasures. You don't get distracted by it. It will not serve you. Then limitation of worldly existence. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Life is so transient, so unpredictable, that don't think that you have the entire lifetime to in your retirement to go towards this Bhagavad Charcha, Govinda Charcha. Start as soon as possible wherever you are. Then limitations of worldly relationships. Yavat vitto parjana sakta. As long as you have the ability to earn and take care of people, they'll look after you. They will run circles around you. The minute you're unable to do that, people will leave you they will drop you like hot potato. Limitations of worldly love. Yavat pavano nivasati dehet. As long as the breath is there, you are breathing, mind is working, organs are working, this worldly concept of love, husband and wife, so much you are into this beautification, beautiful, handsome husband. The minute that life goes, immediately it becomes a body. You don't even call it a name anymore. Sharira, take it away, take it away. Then verse 7, the Acharya is saying that we have no time for the power that can give us security and peace. It's this bala stavat krida sakta. When we are young, we are into toys. When you are middle, young adult, we are into love. In old age, always worrying. We have no time for this power that can actually give us security and peace. And this power is always available to us, but we are not making an effort. It cannot come into us. It's already in us. We must discover that. Verse 8, the Acharya said, now what do you do? After all these limitations, you're aware. What is the next step? Stop living mechanically. Everything, this is how it has been, and this is how it will continue for thousands and millions of years. No. Question everything in your life, and question especially your deepest relationship, because we are doing it for our parents, for our spouse, for our children. And when you ask these questions, you will not get the answer immediately, or even at any point by yourself. You will get more and more agitated and confused. But why he's saying ask these questions? Because the universe has one rule. If there is a demand, there will be a supply. If the person is ready, the guru will arrive. And guru can come in any form. We will realize that. So the confused intellect will not give you the answer, but you will finally start moving. You will start seeing satsang classes here, there, whatever it is. The universe will lead you towards that. Then verse 9. Once you do that, satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. So he's saying that what is the first step towards going towards that spiritual power and connecting with that Govinda Tattva? Association with good people, with high energy people, disassociation with lower energy people, worldly people. And that will lead to freedom from delusion. Our whole goal is moha mudgara. So that moha is delusion, and it will create a pure mind, because a pure mind alone will understand jnana, and without jnana we cannot have moksha, which will you get liberation. And then we said that in the Bhagavad Gita we said the ladder of fall. When you continuously look at the vishayas of the world, you will have attachment. When you have attachment, you will have desire. When your desire is not fulfilled, you will be angry. And when you are angry, loss of memory. When you have loss of memory, you will have loss of viveka. And that means end of you as your human being. Here, the Acharya has given ladder of rise, satsangatva. How to go back up then? Once you've fallen, seek the company of the people who have either experienced that reality or in the quest of that reality. Sat Sang, the association of people who are in search of that reality, unchanging reality. Then comes verse 10, Vayasagate kaha kama vikara. So ignorance can only, we are suffering because we don't realize that Govinda Tattva is inside us. We're looking for it outside. And that ignorance can only be removed by knowledge. But the knowledge, even if somebody comes, Lord Shiva comes and gives you, you will not understand because your mind is not pure. So you can cleanse this your mind by bhakti and karma. Only then you will be ready to receive jnana. So there can be, what it says is there can be no effect. This pain, suffering of the world, that is the effect. There can be no effect without a cause. Cause is avidya, ignorance of your true nature. And effect is the cause in another form. Because you don't know your true powers, this Maya world has so much power over you, moha over you. And when the cause is removed, that ignorance is removed, the effect, the suffering will also be removed. Then comes verse 11. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana gurvam. That you are going through life based on confidence in MP3. What are the MP3? Money power, muscle power, manpower. None of this, in the beginning, it looks like it will help you. But when push comes to shove, when really everything looks dark, they won't be of any help to you. Then verse 12 says, Dinya minyu sayam prata. That when will you seek this power? Seek Bhaja Govindam. The days are turning into night, the spring is turning into winter, and again this is happening, but we have no time. We're waiting, okay, next year we'll start this process. We're thinking it's a post-retirement sport. Instead of realizing at that point it's too late. You don't rise to an occasion, you fall to your level of training. Then verse 13, the Acharya says, Kate kanta dhanagata chinta. That verse, it says, why are you worrying about, and most of the times, what is the excuse we have for not turning to spirituality? Relationships and responsibilities. And the Acharya is questioning that why worry about relationships and responsibilities when you are not indispensable. Even a newborn child whose mother dies will survive. So who are you kidding that without you, the world will not carry on? So don't make that an excuse. The power that is running the earth, the galaxies, the universe will run everything. You don't worry about that. But again, satsangatva, we're looking for a guru, a person who will take us from our ignorance towards the light, who will take us from our avidya, lack of knowledge, towards knowledge. Who is that? The guru wants, the acharya wants, beware that this, just because somebody is clean shaven or has matted hair or orange clothes or rudraksha, this, that, bada big tikas, don't get fooled by the cover. Jatilo mundi lunchita kesha. Beware of fake gurus. Only criteria for a guru, and there is no one guru. Your mother is your first guru, father is your next guru, worldly gurus are there, and in procession, your gurus will also come. Only criteria for a spiritual guru is that they must be content themselves and thus hence able to give you that contentment, and they must be equanimous in the highs and lows of their life. They don't get destabilized. If they can do that, then only they can teach you that, because that's all. You cannot stop the highs and lows. Your only power is to how you respond to the highs and lows. Then the Acharya said, without satsang, we don't know how to intelligently handle our mind, because the mind is the instrument through which we experience the world. And the mind has only one rule. It will go where it gets joy. Right now, if your intellect is not trained, it gets joys from the senses, sensory world, Vishayananda. And the only way the mind will turn around and come within towards Govinda is if you train the intellect, which can convince the mind of a higher possibility of joy. And that happens through satsangatva, through scripture reading, through chanting, through meditation. So without satsang, the Gita starts, Bhagavad Gita, the first word of Bhagavad Gita is dharma and ends, the last word of Bhagavad Gita is mama. And in between, there are 700 verses of art of man making. So what are the three unintelligent ways we handle the mind? First is indulgence. Just say everything. Just enjoy. One life, enjoy. This is your only life. And that comes from Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam. You have assuaged, you have done everything, and yet at the end, teeth are not there, eyes can't see, hair is not there, body cannot enjoy, but still desperate to enjoy. So just indulgence doesn't help. Next is suppression. Agrevani pruste bhanu. No to everything. I'm strict. I'm so disciplined. And it says it's like a pressure cooker or a press spring. Whenever your willpower is low, bam, it will explode or implode in front of you. So even suppression is not the way. Third way of unintelligently handling your mind is what? Distraction. This puja, that pilgrimage, that everything, thinking that we can negotiate and transact with that Govinda Tattva. And whenever we need something, we'll get it. And that one is Gurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam. That if you, no matter if you have not got that jnana, you can go to all the pilgrimage, do all the puja, do all the chanting and meditation. You will not connect that Govinda Tattva. So this is that distraction, indulgence, suppression, distraction. So then the mind control, this Govinda Tattva is what? Getting control over the senses and through the mind. Two-step process. One is purification of the mind, which is through bhakti and karma. And then receiving the knowledge that I am that. What am I seeking outside? I am, it's within me. And gaining that wisdom. And these two steps are not optional. And it's not first this, then that. There is a formula, but sequential. So Acharya says, Jnana Vihina Sarvamatana. Everybody, every spiritual tradition says, without that knowledge, you will not be able to connect with the Govinda Tattva. Then comes, we decided, now how do we turn this process from Vishananda, seeking joy outside, to Brahmananda, coming inside? 4 stages. In the beginning, the Acharya said, those who have never had any spiritual training, they say only the world exists, because I don't see God. What God? I don't see it. So from that, slowly, with little bit of asking the question, little bit of satsang here, there, not dedicated, but in the beginning, you will slowly realize that no, world is not the only thing that exists. World exists, God exists, but God is a means to enjoy the world. We transact with that God. We bribe that God to enjoy this world. Then the third stage comes. World exists, God exists, but we flip it around. World is a way to get to God. First, God was the way to get to worldly joys. Now, worldly joys through Vandanam and everything, Pada Sevanam, we can connect with that. Finally, you will reach the state with dedicated thing that God alone exists. From world alone exists, will come to God alone exists. And so the Acharya says, what is the way to control the mind? It is not indulgence, not suppression, not distraction, but sublimation. Sublimation is very different from suppression. Sublimation in Sanskrit is called pratipaksha bhavana, which is cognitive reframing. The understanding, that is where the jnana comes. Understanding that the joy is not there, joy is here. Only then can you convince the mind, instead of running out, running inwards. So he says in verse 19, Yoga Rateva Bhoga Rate. How do we do that? A self-realized person or a person on the path of self-realization, you will not realize, they won't necessarily have worldly abundance. So it is, how will you know what is the sign of a person who's on this path? There is Rama inside. Rama is that inner joy, and drama outside. In the outside world, you're engaged and, oh, my family, my children, my husband, my wife, my job, my this, my that. But inside, constantly reminding yourself, this is transient. It's a dream world. It's a dream world. I'm enjoying. Like we go to the movie, we enjoy, but we know the movie will end and we'll come back, and we should not cry. The movie has ended. So that kind of Rama inside, drama outside. And the only way to get towards this is called Vairagya. And most people trip over it, thinking that, oh, we will be detached from everybody. The Acharya makes it very clear. No. Anybody who tries to show how detached I am is the least detached, because attached to the ego saying, look at me, I'm so detached. No, it is, Vairagya is to be known inside, not shown outside. If you take great pains to tell people how detached you are not the least bit detached. So that's what he said in that Yoga Rate Va Bhoga Rate. And the symbol he is given is Nandi. Nandi is that the quality of the mind that is lustful. In a village, we understood that it can impregnate 100 cows. Only village needs to have only one Nandi. So our one mind can have affair with all the 5 vishayas of the 5 sense organs. How do we control that? make it single pointed focus on Lord Shiva or that Govinda, same different names we give. Then what happens? That mind nandati, nandati, nandati eva. Continuous joy you will get from Brahmananda, not from the Vishayananda. Then verse 20, the Acharya says, Bhagavad Gita, Kinchita Gita. The process has to start with satsang. What happens is slowly, not overnight. Not overnight, you should recite all the scriptures. Little bit, only 1 or 2 or 3 slokas you read about Bhagavad Gita. Little bit, understand Bhagavad Gita. And he's giving here the importance of self-effort. You have to make the effort and to gain self-realization. Then Bhagavad Gita, Kinchita Gita, he's given how to deal with this, how to train the mind at 3 levels, at the body level, mind level, intellect level. Intellect level is learn and understand Gita, not just mechanical reciting. Mind level, you do this worship God's image, think of the God's image, because then you continue like that Nandi, focused on one image of God, Ishta Devata. And then at the body level, you do all this puja part, 16 upacharas, so that, because body likes ritual, mind doesn't need ritual, intellect doesn't need ritual. But if you want to train the body, because without training the body, you cannot train the mind and let alone the intellect, then you need that puja to be disciplined. Then verse 21 says, so yeah, from this self-effort, you will go first, Ishta Devata Puja. You will do worship God in your conditioned form. This is my concept of God. 2, seeing God in the Prakriti. Ashtamurti Puja, we said. That 5 elements and 3 gunas, permutation, combination with the whole Prakriti is created. You have to start seeing God everywhere. In the Rishis, we talked about the 5 Panchayagyas, Mahayagnas. In the Rishis, in the Devatas, in the Pitras, in the Manusha, in the Bhuta, everything you have to see God. Finally, you'll be able to see the God sitting in your heart. Then verse 21, Punarabi Jananam, Punarabi Maranam, the need for suffering. We talked about Kunti Stuti. If there is no suffering, we say, God, God, I'm praying to you. Why are you making me suffer? We are forgetting that is the minute you pray to God and you suffer, you know that Trahi, liberation is very close by. Because only that principle will not interfere with free will. Only when you ask, it will come. And when we are bloated with ego and pride, we don't think of that power. Only when we suffer, we call that power, and it instantaneously comes. So we need to suffer to want mumukshatva, that is liberation from these limitations. Yeah, so we have to, the need for prayer also, Punarabi Jananam, just knowledge will not do it. That suffering has to be there. Only when the suffering is there, you will pray, and only when you pray, you will get the jnana, and only when you get the jnana, you will be liberated. Then it says here, what describes, verse 22, describes the state of a man of realization. Rathya Charpata Vivarjita Kantha. What is the sign of a realized person? This realized person has minimum dependence on the world, both bodily and psychologically. And the examples the Acharya has given is enjoys the world like a child or a madman. What are the qualities of a child? Innocent, lives in the present moment, doesn't wonder, are my parents rich or not? Am I beautiful enough or not? Am I, my capability? It just enjoys the moment. And so also a mad person doesn't need approval of the world. We always live for approval. That is the one keeps her caught outside. So he says the signs of a realized person is someone who's able to enjoy, like, you don't have to be a child, you don't have to be a madman, but able to enjoy like a child, innocent every minute, or not seek the approval like a madman. You don't have to be a madman. Then verse 23. Only a prepared, purified man can seek and understand the purpose of. Not everybody can ask these questions. Who am I? Where was I born? Who's my mother? Who's my father? Who are these children? What is death? What will happen to me after death? Not ordinary people cannot ask these questions. That's why the Acharya brings this towards the very end. And understanding that the world is an illusion. When the mind is, the entire world is a projection of your mind. When the mind sleeps, that projection ends and the world ends. What is the example of that in your day-to-day life? Deep sleep. There is no world. You don't know if you're man, woman, if you are, rich, poor, if you're Indian, non-Indian, if you're whatever, because the mind has resolved. Same with the collective mind, Govinda. When it wants to bring back its own creation, it goes into deep sleep mode where there is no differentiation. These questions, only a purified mind can ask questions like Kastva koham kutakayata kame janani ko metata. Who will question, well, who is my mother, who is my father, as if you don't know? But the true, that in other lifetimes, were they my mother always? Maybe they were somebody else. They have come as noble adversary to teach us something. And iti paribhavaya sarva Sarvamasaram Vishwam Twakta Swapna Vicharam. Understanding that this world is only a dream. Just like in the dream world, everything looks real. When we wake up, nothing was real. Similarly, we are characters in the collective dream world. Verse 24, the signs of a immature seeker or a person with strong ego focuses on the differences. And we talked about how using Namaste Mudra to challenge us to grow, not just mechanically saying Namaste, 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 but Namaste means na mama. I, as an individuality does not exist, and challenging yourself to see that same Vishnu Tattva in every person. So, Tvai Mai Cha Annatraikyo Vishnu Vyartham Kupyasi Mahasa Vishnu. That inside me, inside you, inside everything is that one power. And force yourself to look for that power. Force even the things you do not like, especially things you do not like. Then verse 25. Don't waste your time breaking relationships based on who you like, who you dislike, friends, relatives, enemies. Don't bother with that, because these are people who come here as your teachers. They're all here to teach you something, whether they are family, not family, people you like, dislike. Cultivate a vision of oneness. And this is Satro Mitre Putre Bandho Ma Kuru Yatnam Vigraha Sandhu. Don't waste time, because it's not about who you like or dislike. It's about every person, especially the person you dislike, is here to teach you something. Learn the lesson. Then verse 26. Kama Krodha Lobha Moham Tvaktva Manam Pasyati Soham. Wherever there is vision of difference, I am separate from the world, I am separate from Govinda, that God. That means different. This is called ego, ahamkar. Aham akar or aham kar. I am the doer. Whenever there is a vision of duality, of difference, there will be fear, greed, pride, envy, jealousy. You cannot help it, because you will have to protect yourself. Only way to get rid of that, because these are the shat ripu. Remember, kama krodha, lobha moha, mada matsarya. Between kama krodha, lust and anger. Then lobha moha, if you greed and attachment, and mada matsarya, jealousy and envy. These are the shat ripu of the mind of the human being. And if you see yourself as different, you cannot fight these enemies. They will have you by the, hold you in their kabza, so what in their control. Then comes what? So only solution is Atma Jnana Vihina Mudha Nigudha Naraka. So if you don't have the Atma Jnana, you will, Nigudha is captive, Mudha is ignorant in the Naraka, na arka, hell. Naraka is not, the knowledge is not there. You are constantly trying to fight the world and protect yourself without realizing there is no world, there is nobody else. It is just your projection. It's like fighting the villain in the movie. You can't fight it because it's not there. It's a projection of your mind. If you don't do that, you will be suffering. Then verse 27, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. Repeating advice to intensify sadhana at all level. Read the Bhagavad Gita for intellectual purification. Meditate on the form of the Lord that you are comfortable with, whether it is Govinda, Jesus, Allah, doesn't matter, Buddha. One form you take, that is concentration, focusing like Nandi. Your mind is all over the place. Bring it to single-minded focus. That is, meditate on the form of the Lord, and purify with satsang, because only with satsang will you go, because your life is the sum total of the people you spend time with. That association will either pull you down or into the world of Vishayas, or that the right satsang will take you into the world of Brahmananda. Association is the cause of bondage as well as liberation. And also it says, you must earn. You're here to earn. We have four goals: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artha is wealth and knowledge, and kama is desires. These are your purusharthas, goals. But you must use dharma, the right knowledge and right action, to do what? Your desires and wealth should always make you move towards moksha, liberation, not get entangled. So he's saying here that make money, but money is, if you make a lot of money, it's not only for you and your family. It's the universe has given it to you. You're just chosen as a channel or an instrument to distribute that wealth. Don't hold on to it, then you'll get stuck. Donate what you've got, not just money, even knowledge, even so many secrets we think we alone know and we don't want to share with anybody other than our family members. So understand that the only way to get liberation is that yajna bhava and tyagana amrita tattva. Only when you are able to sacrifice will you get amrita tattva, immortality. As long as you want to hold on to something, It's impossible. Now we are going to verse 28. Sukhate kriyate kama bhoga paschadanti sharire roga. Reminder that the limitation of sensual pleasures, pleasing the mouth, pleasing the eyes, pleasing the nose, pleasing the ears, too much loud music, always constantly staring at a screen, constantly wanting to eat food that you like. And we talked about the Yudhishthira Yaksha story. When the Yaksha asked Yudhishthira, what is the most amazing thing in this world? What did Yudhishthira say? Though humans are mortal, everybody goes about their life as if they are going to be here forever. I don't want to lose the weight. I'll go on a weight loss program week next month, or I will go on this scripture reading class next year, or I will do all this exercise next year. We keep on as if we are so guaranteed that we will have even a next moment, let alone next day and next year. And then Acharya says, verse 29, without right knowledge, money will bring calamity. We all think that if we make a lot of money, life will be beautiful. We can help ourselves and help everybody. And the Acharya says, yes, life will be very comfortable. But it will also bring calamity because you will stop trusting your son. You will stop trusting your spouse. You will stop trusting your friends. And you will be so worried. This yoga kshema. What is yoga? I want. And shema is whatever I have collected and accumulated. I don't want to lose it. Can't sleep at night. Where is my jewelry? Where is my this? Where is my money? Where is my this? What happened to my account? Did my money manager steal? Constantly worried about how to protect that money or that wealth. So he says money comes with its own challenges. Make a lot of money, but beware that you are not serving the money. Money is here to serve you. That image of Lakshmi pressing Vishnu's feet, the very embodiment of abundance, is dedicated to that Govinda. So should you be. Creating wealth is only half the problem. Preserving wealth and stewarding wealth is far more difficult. Verse 30. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya anitya viveka vicharam. So we have to prepare ourselves for this journey to go inward. All the scriptures we understand, but we have to practice. Remember we said that Bhagavad Gita, then that little drop of Ganga. Ganga is not actual water. Ganga is that practice. All the rishis and all the seekers are sitting on the banks of Ganga practicing what they've learned. So how we must do is, first of all, bodily, bringing attention to that breath that connects the mind and body, because it's split. Rama and Sita we discussed. So Hanumanji, that prana shakti, focusing on prana to bring your mind and body into alignment. Then pratyaharam. Only then will you be able to disconnect from the world of vishayas. Disconnect from your sensory senses should be disconnected from the sensory objects. All that, close your eyes, create time where you go within. And then comes, just that is not enough. That's the physical preparation, because there are two kinds of preparation, bahiranga and antaranga. Bahiranga is pranayama, pratyaharam. Then comes antarangam, internal preparation, which is anitya viveka vicharam, reminding yourself that world of objects is a swapna vichara. It is intransient, it is impermanent, it won't give me joy, it will get me entangled, I'll be miserable. The only thing I should seek is Govinda. Go, the power that the Indriyas, and Vinda is internal control. If you don't create that, the mind will constantly be pulled towards the senses. This nitya anitya viveka vicharam is the way to bring your mind to a higher level of joys, which is not conditioned upon vyakti, vyastu, paristhiti. A person will give me joy, an object will give me joy, an experience or situation will give me joy. Nothing. They will give you joy only for a little period of time. 3 ice creams is very tasty. After the 30th ice cream, you will throw up. As long as the lover is loving you, very beautiful, very enjoyable. When he has an affair with somebody else, very painful, and so on and so forth. So constantly reminding yourself what is eternal and what is ephemeral. That does not mean that you will not enjoy the world of objects, but knowing that this is, if somebody dies or something is taken away from you or somebody cheats you, knowing that is the nature of the world. Why am I upset? When the sun sets, we don't get upset. That's the nature of the world. Then he's saying that this is not an easy task. It's easy to say, but practice is required. Kuru avadhanam, maha avadhanam. Path of spirituality is slow and steady. And it's like a surashadhara, walking a razor's edge. Little bit too much, you'll get entangled. Little bit that, suppression. So you need people to walk that journey. And at some point, of course, you're alone. But in the beginning, you need that satsang. Then verse 31, which is the official ending of the Bhaja Govindam, is Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. That at some point, find a guru That will, when you surrender and said, please show me the way, because I'm constantly getting dragged to the Vishanan, the world of object. Samsara achirat bhava mukta. With the blessings of the Guru, anything is possible. We talked about Totakastakam. O devotee of the lotus feet of the teacher, may you become liberated soon from the samsara through the discipline of the sense organs and the mind. And how will you do it? Unintelligently, people do indulgence, suppression, and distraction. But the satsang, the guru, will teach you how to sublimate pratipaksha bhavana. You will come to experience, behold the Lord that dwells in your own heart. Then verse 32, it's not there in all of them. It is just like a so. Thus, a grammarian who was lost in rules was cleansed of his narrow vision and shown the light by Adi Shankaracharya's teaching. Therefore, O ignorant one, at least now understand the purpose of life and cross life's ocean with the help of worshipping Govinda and reciting his sacred names with every breath that you take. And we are final verses, verse 33. Other than chanting the name of the Lord, there is no other way to cross the ocean of life. So seek Govinda, O one whose intellect is blinded by ignorance. And we talked about how not to interpret this literally, just Rama, 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 Rama. Yes, it is a beginning, but that Atma, Jnana Vihina Mudha, without that knowledge, just Rama, 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 it won't. You have to do it. It will take you to a stage where it will purify your mind to be able to receive that Atma Jnana, that the Govinda is inside, not out there. So then we talked, Navada Bhakti we have talked about. And finally, we ended with 6 important impediments, blockages to bhakti, which is that bhaja part of it. One was atya ahara, overconsumption, excessive consumption of everything, not just food, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you do with your body. So through any of the senses, any consumption will take you away from the path of bhaja, that path to seek Govinda. And we talked about the 4 things. Ahara, vihara, nidra, maithuna. Ahara is physical food. Vihara is enjoyment. Nidra, sleep. Maithuna, sexual activities. Any one of them can, overdoing will take you away from that path. Next comes prayasa, excessive endeavors for worldly success. Not people misunderstand, so we shouldn't try. No, you must try. But you cannot be obsessed with it, and when you don't get what you want, you only have right to put in 100% of your effort. Whatever comes back to you as prasada, you must accept. And if you don't, then this will take you away from the bhaja. That doesn't mean it stops you from practicing. You will practice and you will surrender. You will practice and you'll surrender. No resentment, no disappointment there. Prajalpa, excessive talking. This is because talk is a way we express through words. And so we say swarga. Swarga is what? The basis is swar, swa. The swasa and swa is the speech. And so mundane talk, gossip, criticism will drain you and will take you away from the path of seeking Govinda. Then comes niyama graha, failure to adopt essential regulations or fanatical adherence to them. First of all, oh, I'm so good, I'm so beautiful, I'm so, charitable, and I just do my I'm very spiritual. I don't believe in rituals. No bath, no sitting down and, that Ishta Devata Pujana, that is not there. It will stop because you have not reached that level that you can just go to meditation and become one with Govinda. That puja is necessary. But too much attachment. Oh, the bell should be here, the light should be there, the flowers has to be 108 and the chanting has to be like this. No, that will stop you also. Surasya Dhara, you are walking the razor's edge. You must have some rituals, but not overly attached to those rituals. That is niyamagraha, failure to adopt essential regulations or fanatical adherence to regulations. Jana Sangha as opposed to Satsangha, association with worldly minded people as opposed to association with spiritual minded people. And then Lola, restlessness of the mind, vacillating between different sadhanas, different paths and different gurus. No loyalty, nishta to, okay, everything is different. You're doing something, oh, this is not working. I think that person, that kind of meditation is good. That God will give you more. Hanumanji can't give you any more. Now we have to go to Sriti Sai Baba or we have to go to some other God. So either your practice is not good enough or your guru is not good enough or your, tradition is not good enough. That is Lola. Stick to one path. Every path will lead you there. Stick to a path. Don't be vacillating here and there because that mind's trick to get you agitated. So that was in short the whole recap of what we did in the last 6 sessions.